back. This is the fourth House Take on Sports. This week we only have 4 stories. The first is going to be March Madness, the NCAA tournament. The second will be the Calvin Johnson contract he just signed with the Detroit Lions. The third is going to be the New York sports Mount Rushmore, and I'll let you know what that means when we get there. The fourth is going to be a local sports story. So we start off with the first sports story, which is NCAA tournament. I have my bracket in, as we all do. I have it in online and I have it in hard paper copy, with a local pool. I have my Final Four as follows: Kentucky Wildcats, the North Carolina Tar Heels, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Michigan State Spartans. Overall, I have Kentucky winning it over North Carolina in the final. I think Kentucky is just far too deep a team in shooting threes and defending, and their front court pressure on defense is just immense, led by Anthony Davis, who averages 14 points, 10 rebounds, and almost 5 blocks a game this year for Kentucky. Kentucky has 3 guys that are potential first-rounders today if they were to come out, and this team is just loaded with freshmen. Anthony Davis being the leader. There are 16 freshmen they have. My 4 teams that I felt could have been in the Final Four, and they could possibly still be in the Final Four, the tournament's going on right now, are Creighton, Marquette, Baylor, and Florida State. I think Creighton shoots very well from the outside. The problem with them is when they go to a zone defense, teams that play well against the zone can break them down easily. Offensively, they're probably one of the better offensive teams in the nation. Marquette is one of the teams that nobody really knows about, and they should. Marquette is a very, very good basketball team, very well coached. Pay attention to Marquette. They might be one of those teams that sneaks in there now that they don't have to get past Missouri, who just lost to Norfolk State as a number 2 seed, losing to a number 15 seed. And with that, Duke, as a number 2 seed, lost to Lehigh, number 15 seed as well. A lot of tournament surprises so far. Hopefully my Final Four stays intact, and like I said, I have Kentucky over UNC in the national championship game. The second thing I want to talk about is this Calvin Johnson contract he just signed with the Detroit Lions. $18.6 million a year annually. To put that in perspective, the guy that is paid the second most behind him is Larry Fitzgerald at $15 million a year. Larry Fitzgerald, by most people's standards, is the best receiver in the NFL. Plays in Arizona, so he kind of toils in anonymity, but he probably is one of the better players in the NFL at that position. And that's a pretty sizable gap between number 1 and number 2. Who benefits the most are the young receivers, the best young receivers in the NFL, like Julio Jones of the Falcons, AJ Green of the Bengals, and Torrey Smith of the Ravens. Right now, teams have a salary cap set at $120.6 million. By the time these guys' contracts are up in 4 or 5 years, the NFL salary cap is probably going to be around $140 or $145 million per team. So these guys are going to see the benefit of Calvin Johnson's contract when they come re-up in 4 to 5 years. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the New York sports Mount Rushmore. For those that don't know, this is kind of a new thing. The Mount Rushmore sports. It's going to be 4 faces of that particular city's sports history. I'm going to do I should say, a city each week, starting with New York this week and probably LA next week, and then so on and so forth. Each week I'm going to cover a major metropolitan area that has at least 3 major sports franchises. I'm going to take 4 of the players that I think are most deserving to be on their Mount Rushmore of sports. If they were to physically have one in the city, these are the guys that I would have on there. For New York, I would have Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth is a 7-time All-Star. I'm sorry, he's a 7-time world champ and a multiple-time All-Star. And before Hank Aaron came along, who's, in my opinion, the best home run hitter of all time, Babe Ruth held that home run record, the career home run record, for years. And also held the single-season home run record as well. Second on that list would be Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter is a 5-time world champion, a 12-time All-Star, and probably the most recognizable name or face in New York today, and possibly one of the most recognizable sports faces in the world. He's highly endorsable, and this guy he's probably the face of the Yankees currently. and it has been for years. The next guy I have on there was Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is a 2-time Super Bowl champ and a 12-time Pro Bowler. And he is known no equal in terms of getting to the quarterback and being fierce. He is probably one of the scariest guys on the defense and one of the best players coming off the ball in NFL history. The last guy on this, and it's probably the most controversial, is Mark Messier. Mark Messier had 2 stints with the New York Rangers in the NHL. His first time around, in 1994, he led the New York Rangers to their first Stanley Cup title in 54 years. And for those of you that don't realize how big that is, go back and read the news and look it up. Google it, search it. Mark Messier, 1994 Stanley Cup champs, New York Rangers. It is very, very big. The last thing I want to talk about, local sports. The Atlanta Junior Rowing Association is on top of on top of local rowing recently. They have a team captain that's already committed to Penn to row there. Penn, Penn, Pennsylvania. This kid just set the AJRA record on the 2K erg machine at 6 minutes 19 seconds. If you don't know what that means, look it up, please. It would be amongst the top 10 times for his weight class in the world. That's pretty impressive for a kid that's a senior in high school and about to go off to college. The second person I'd like to speak about is Ian Cottingham, aka Hats. He has gone from his time in the 2K at the beginning of the season, a month and a half ago, to now he's lowered his time by 43 seconds. That's how hard he's been working. And he still wants to shave off another 30 seconds in the next month and a half. I believe he can do it. Nobody's been working harder than that kid right there. So congratulations both to the team captain, AJRA, and Ian Cottingham. With that, I'd like to say thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.